I went back on meds. A year later, I was feeling pretty good. We had a guy named Stephane, who you would know, longtime Montreal Canadian, Tampa Bay Lightning, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. I read that he battled depression through his career. So I went into the green room and I asked him to come out for a second. I said, look, Stephane, you don't know me. You don't owe me anything. Would it be okay, though, if I asked you how you're doing with depression? And he said, I don't like to talk about it. It's painful. And I said, well, would it help if I talked about it? And he said, what would you talk about? So I told him a bit of my story. And he said, okay, let's do it. We went on the air, Joe. I'd never spoken ever about mental illness on TV because I thought, who would care, right? Like, why would I mention it? I didn't realize there was this awful stigma. So I say to him, hey, Stephane, before we go to break, tell me or tell us how you're doing. I know you battled depression throughout your career. And I know that I want to know how that affected you, not in terms of your performance, but in terms of, your enjoyment of the game. He said, imagine Montreal kid, drafted by the Montreal Canadiens, rookie of the year in the NHL, last Canadian to score 50 goals. I win the Stanley Cup for the Montreal Canadiens. And I never felt any joy. None. Nothing made me happy at the time. All I wanted to do was go home and get into bed and get away from everything and everyone. And I remember saying, well, that resonates with me. Obviously, I haven't had the success that you've had, but just the idea that you couldn't feel joy when something previously joyous happened to you, that makes me think, me too. And that was it. And the show went to air. And I thought, that was an interesting question that I asked him. That's a job, but I wasn't trying to do anything good for people. Then all of a sudden, the show goes to air and I start getting emails directed to the show and forwarded to me. Hey, Michael, watching you and Stephane Richer talk about depression was the first time in my life I've seen two men talking about it. The fact that you didn't seem ashamed or embarrassed and that Stephane Richer didn't seem weak has empowered me to reach out and tell you something I've never told another person. Like you, I have battled depression, but unlike you, I've never gone for help. I was too ashamed, but now I'm going to go for help over and over again. I saw these emails and that 180 degrees changed the course of my life.